Okay. The journey continues here. All right, so our next point of interest is not really coming up for another kilometer. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, lots of pushing you ahead. So I'm going to push ahead to those next spots. Again, you can see how dead straight the grade is here as we pass through this area with all these lots of tamaracks here, kind of growing up beside the grade. Must be pretty in the fall time when they start to turn yellow. Here we have one of the few kind of physical features on the line. We don't even really have very many cuts or anything to see. It's so flat. So this is one of the few rare ones that I think we've seen like 3 or 4 cuts. That's it. Such a difference in this line. You know, going from you know, this area all the way to Thunder Bay. The subdivision, you know, when I post things up on social media, people are like, you know, how long is it? Oh, it's almost 200-mile long subdivision, and people are just like shocked, right, that it's that long, right? You know, people are usually accustomed to much sort of shorter sections, and you know, you can really see sort of a difference in the geography. You know, as you know, you get sort of further to the west, you kind of get a lot more kind of into sort of more rocky terrain, more rock cuts and things like that. You don't see as much of this kind of flat sort of swampier areas. You see a few of them, but not very many. A lot more kind of physical features to see. Oh, I didn't even notice this on my, there was a culvert here. $25. Oh man. 25. I want to see what kind of culvert it is too. I think it's just a metal one. $25.4. I think that's a 4.47. 25.47. Maybe. Sometimes you don't notice things simply because the direction that you're sort of traveling. So that was kind of hidden behind the trees, and so going east, I would have very easily missed it. So here's another culvert. We're not going to stop. I believe this one's 25.6 something. Can't read it. Just make out kind of the top part of it. We do have a little stop coming up just up here. My marker. All right, so we'll go and take a look. We actually have We have seen kind of some of the bases of telegraph poles and things like that. I did mention that it is kind of a bit of a wet area, and so with the dry summer that we've had, some areas, wet areas, are now dry, so you can actually see this telegraph pole that's been kind of sitting in the water. Looks like all of the good insulators are gone, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dominion 42s on there. Kind of different styles of them. You have some of the flat bottom ones, and then you have the rounder ones. They don't want to move. Yeah, they're kind of stuck on there. Anyway, ooh, got a real funky smell here. It's got that nice swampy smell. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll pop back up on the grade here, and we're getting really, really close to our destination, probably less than half a mile. Okay. Back in the saddle here, and as I mentioned, we're into our last kind of little piece of exploration for today. Our next stop is coming up in probably about 300 meters, so I'll push you ahead to there. This is the pipeline. So this is the TransCanada Pipeline, and we cross it quite often on our explorations. It kind of zigzags back and forth across the railway grade. Oh, this is a bad section of ballast. All right, so we've arrived here at our next stopping point. Sorry, distracted. What is this? Why is there a big white post right here? I don't know what that, ow, ooh, thorns. I don't know what that means. Never seen one of those before. White post with a white sign on. Is that an indication the pipeline's coming up, or I don't know. Okay. Anyway, here's our next feature. So this is Dion Creek again, and so you can see the concrete culvert. And we've already talked a little bit about Dion Creek, so what we'll do is we're gonna jump down and go take a look at it. All right, so we made our way down here to the level of the creek, which you can see in front of us. It is actually pretty deep, considering how dry it is, and obviously it would have been even wetter around here without the drought that we're going through. So you can see the culvert over here. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. This is kind of the non-flanged end, so obviously the water is flowing this direction towards the south. You can see it is a very large diameter culvert. It's looks like probably about a 6-foot diameter culvert. It's kind of interesting. On my CN profile map, it basically says 9-foot diameter, and I've never seen a 9-foot diameter one. But maybe that was just a transcribing error where they flip-flop the 6 and the 9, but because it doesn't look like it's bigger than 6 feet. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll hop the grade and go take a look at what's happening on the north side. Okay, so we're down here on the north side, and here we're actually able to kind of get almost right out into the middle of the channel here on this little chunk of vegetation here. And so we get a nice view of the culvert. Again, this is the flanged end. So essentially that tells us that the water is flowing from the north to the south. You can see some of the rock that's been put around the opening of the culvert to kind of reinforce the grade. If we take a look at the inside here, it does look like it's in pretty good shape. So not a lot of deterioration. All right, so we're going to hop back up on the grade, and we're almost at our destination. Kenwell is just a few hundred meters to the west of us. All right, last stretch. We've got like just a few hundred meters left to go. This is probably one of the quickest long hikes that we've done, simply because there's not a lot of things to sort of stop and look at. So our next feature here is just right up here, hiding in the trees. There's the milepost 26 marker. You can see that it's very, very faded. All of the black color is pretty much come off of it, so it's a little more difficult to see. But again, that is the mileage on the Kinghorn. And so for the original line, the Canadian Northern Railway Long Lake Subdivision, again, we have to add 100.8 miles, and so that becomes 126.8. So milepost 26, that means we're right at our destination, because we are stopping today at milepost 26.1. So we just have a tenth of a mile to go, and we're done. All right, so we're coming up on something called Kenwell, and even though I talked about it in the next episode, I want to kind of mention it a little bit today. So Kenwell's kind of a bit of an enigma, and the reason being is it doesn't show up on any railway timetable, none of the ones that I have. It's not there in 1924. It's not there in 1945. But if you Google Kenwell, right? So if you go to Google Maps or to Google Earth and you type in Kenwell, it brings you right here. And so it's such a bizarre type of thing, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so from what I understand, basically Kenwell was set up as kind of a stopping point. I don't know what there was here, if there was a spur or there was a siding. Again, it doesn't show up on any timetables that I know of. And basically it was designed to, there's a road there, and that's how we kind of came in. There's a road right over there, and that road basically goes past closer to where the TransCanada highway is, so probably about 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers from where we are. So here's the road, and going back that way. You can get in here still because the TransCanada Pipeline is just up there, and obviously the road is maintained because of that. So basically this road allowed supplies and things to be transported to those mines that were being opened up just to the south here. And you can see that road. So I'm going to show you a 1950s map right now, and you'll see the road on there kind of running down to the mine sites. Anyway, so that means we've basically arrived at the end of our exploration for today. This next section we've already done and so the grade continues this way, and it's going to pass through a series of lakes, S and Porthos Lake, and then eventually get up to Wild Goose Beach Road, and then past that is Kenwell Station. Anyway, so hopefully you've enjoyed today's exploration, and maybe not as many exciting things to take a look at on this one, but certainly a few interesting things and some really great scenery to see. So we're going to be back just as soon as we can with yet more explorations.